Hey, I'd like to introduce you to my ZZ plant. Let's get into it. So a friend of mine gave me my ZZ, I think 3 years ago when he was moving to California and couldn't take the houseplants. And honestly, I did not know what it was. I'm not familiar with the plant at all. Wasn't sure how to care for it. And the evidence of that, you can see all that brown stuff in the bottom. And I didn't know if I was watering it too much or not enough. And I kind of, at one point, just started leaving it alone. And that seemed to be like the right answer. So let's stabilize some, let's stop having stuff die back. But until recently, when I started watching YouTube videos on it, I still didn't really know how to care for it. So I think what happened before I ever got it was transplanted into this big ceramic pot that was probably bigger than what it needed. And it looks like just general, plant soil that it's in. So now I know that it should be in probably a smaller pot so that the roots are more contained and with a well-draining soil. And recently, my niece was visiting and wanted a piece of it. I'm like, ooh, how do you propagate this thing? So I wasn't sure. So rather than cut it, I felt around some of the stems, and there's a separate plant that I just pulled up. So luckily right now the soil's very dry, so it's easier to figure out what's going on with the root system and how many plants there are and all that stuff. But some of it looks fine. I mean, look at how pretty and shiny that leaf is and this newer branch here. But a couple of these other ones are drooping and sad looking, and I'm considering that to be a cry for help. So I'm gonna repot it and put them in nursery pots, and maybe I'll put the nursery pot back in the pretty ceramic pot. But I don't think any of these require anything that large at this point. So wish me luck. So I came outside so I could do surgery on it. So again, let's see the old growth in there with the healthier green leaves. Wow, so this whole section just lifted out, and I'm not actually sure. Yeah, this one doesn't have much root, and I really don't feel a rhizome in there. So, but there are, the branches are not super strong, but they're there. So I'm gonna see that looks like it should have been maybe a rhizome. So that section clearly has some issues. It looked like it. So let's see what the rest of it is. Yeah, so these three sections I think they're done. And I gotta say, this is me not knowing how much water to give it. I probably overwatered it, and these guys, looks like the roots just rotted out completely. So sorry about that. not even worth talking about. Okay, this remaining stuff that includes most of the good-looking stuff looks like it's, well, no, I was gonna say it was one piece, but it looks like it's two. And they don't want to come up. Okay, so I use my trusty claw to work around the outside of the pots. And now so this is one section of plant that's worth saving. So there is a rhizome in there, and then it looks like there was one on the end, so I'll cut that off. And the rest of the roots feel firm for the most part. Yeah, so I think this is a good example of what not to do and over-watering the plant, but they stuck it out. Like this one, like that's a new root coming out. So I think literally ignoring it for a while was the best thing I could do for it, and the plant's fighting back. So I'm gonna see what I can do to help it along with better soil and a better potting situation. So yeah, so this one has, you know, the best greenery up top and the best roots down below, and it's still going to require some cleaning up. But that's unfortunate. And there is a good sized rhizome in there that's actually kind of a couple of them. So the soil's pretty dry. So after I get them in some fresh soil, I'll water them up, and I bet you these guys will plump up then. But they've been doing what they're supposed to. The stems actually on this one look pretty full of water, except for this one on the end, and obviously that one. So the stems are doing what they're supposed to do, so which is why, you know, this one looks the best out of its other friends in the pot. So now I guess the question is, should I put these in, the three of them, in one nursery pot, or I think I'm gonna maybe two of them in one and one in the smaller one, because I think I have a nursery pot big enough for that. But first I'm gonna get rid of all the, you know, dead or dying parts of the root systems to not take any of that problem into the new potting situation. Yeah, this one's tricky. It's got new growth on this end. And these other, oh wait a minute, no. So these two on this one. So I think I know what I need to do. So here's the healthiest portion of the plant, and not much to clean up down here. That's all. But, well, since they all good looking for the most part, but there is some stuff dead. So the recap, I'm gonna put this section and this section in this pot, and these two smaller ones, I might find a smaller pot for them. So, on to repotting. So I'm using a succulent cactus mix. And I added some more perlite because I wanted to. And after having watering issues, I want to make sure it drains well. So let's start with the smaller ones first. Okay, a little bit more. Should be okay. Your new home. So one step. So let's see how that looks. So I got him in. Tucked in, and I think he's gonna be all right. That just pulled it in. Okay, now for the big one. fill in. There's some voids under the rhizomes. I want to make sure I fill in. So given what we just saw, these really are some tough plants, because that condition of the roots was completely unacceptable, but it was still, doing what it could do to survive. And now let's set it up so it can thrive. Let's do that. Okay. So I'm probably gonna stake this to give us some support while it reestablishes its roots. But they already look better, both of them. Those guys did make it. Well, it's time to water them in. Make sure there are no voids. Ooh. This water's a little warm. This one's sitting out in the sun. Very good. That's better. So water drips out, and let that dry completely before watering it again. Off the soil a little bit. Okay, water's dripping out the bottom now, so watering is done.